Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in space and time. Kamala Nellen, creator of the foundation program, Working In. This program is designed to give you self-empowerment, to care for your mind, and to rebalance the body, particularly for those who use the body intensively. It will help rebalance muscle groups and correct training imbalance. It's a comprehensive program. I hope to roll out in September. Stay tuned for that. So I wanted to share a little more about my journey way before I created Working In. This was my initiation weekend. So I had met my master back in March, and I wanted to go deeper into the practices. Let me just explain that according to the Pratyabhinya Hridayam, which is a text from the Kashmir Shaivite tradition, the guru is the grace bestowing power of God. We need a master to ignite the inner journey to attain everything there is to attain, called self-realization. A true master comes from an ancient lineage and knows every nook and cranny of the journey forward to the final goal. And that person is also an example of what they teach. They've mastered all the scriptures and are established in a state of profound peace without a break, as well as being able to transmit the power of grace. It is said also that the guru is the means. The guru is the guide inside us as well as outside. It can be achieved only through the path a true master shows us. When the seeker is initiated, the guru's power that enables us to easily enter meditation is planted inside. The inner journey continues naturally without extreme practices. Things happen in my outer life, of course, but the practices really have taken me and everyone who embarks on this path beyond the reach of the senses and the intellect. It's my experience that following my master's instructions, even in a little part, has propelled my inner journey and gives me a foundation for leading my life. It provides a kind of intelligence that's beyond my thinking mind. Keep in mind, the experience I'm going to describe of awakening was unique to me, and everyone has their own unique spiritual path. In 1974, my teacher created these 2-day programs he called intensives. An intensive was a way for busy people to receive initiation and learn the practices, and a little bit about the philosophy of yoga. It was a way to have a deep experience in a short time. Each intensive for me over many years has been a unique journey going deeper into my own unending inward journey. So I had just met my master at the end of March, and I wanted to take an intensive. So I enrolled in one at the end of May. This time I was better at dealing with the crowded overnight accommodations at the hotel. It began around 8 in the morning, and they seated us in these neat rows on the floor. First, there were some talks by various people explaining aspects of yoga philosophy and what was going to happen over the weekend. And then we were instructed to chant a mantra in a call and response fashion. And at that time, the master came in and took his seat. He spoke to us about a teaching from yoga in each intensive I ever took, and the value of the chanting and meditation and having a true master. And then we prepared for meditation. The lights dimmed. I knew he would be walking through the rows, taking a moment to awaken me with his touch. So I was very excited. I tried to meditate with my eyes closed, but I was so excited as I heard him coming closer to me. And when he stopped in front of me, I glanced at his brown slippers and his orange robe. Then he grabbed the bridge of my nose, pressed his thumb firmly between my eyebrows, and stroked upward on my forehead. Then he gently tapped his wand of peacock feathers a few times on the top of my head, resting it there for a short minute. His feathers were fragrant with the scent of henna and cousse. As he moved to the next person, my head fell back and I took in a gigantic breath of air. It was like I'd been underwater for lifetimes, and I was just bobbing up to the surface. And then I was enveloped in a deep silence that was also really alive. I had a vision of his presence inside me, surrounded by a plethora of exquisite flowers, from jasmine to roses to lilacs to hydrangeas. They were all in multiple beautiful hues. I felt alert, even though my eyes were closed. And I also fell deep into the sweetness of the peace of that silence inside me. Needless to say, I was mystified by my experience that day. It was so precious. The journey since has given me beautiful moments of deep peace and joy, and at times it's been really challenging. We experience past impressions burning away when we practice yoga. The energy cleans out old impressions that are stored in the body and the mind over lifetimes, which allows the truth of who we are to shine more brightly and more brightly. About my vision that day of the guru in my heart, the yoga scriptures tell us that once initiation has occurred, one place the guru seats himself inside us is in the region of the heart. The energy keeps working in us more intensively through the practices given by the master, but it kind of has its own knowing as well. It gives each one what we need. It's the start of a spiritual journey which eventually culminates in complete union with everything everywhere and establishment in a state of peace and joy. It's not a zombie state. It's an incredibly alive presence. And it can continue with eyes wide open during the day, as well as in meditation. So my teacher encouraged us to trust the awakened energy to unfold in each of us exactly as it needed to for our temperament and our desire for the goal. What was and is hard for me is burning through those blasted impressions. As he said it perfectly, it was getting rid of what you haven't got. It helps me to understand better what occurs on my spiritual journey by reading spiritual texts recommended by my master. But the proof is in the grace one experiences in the doing, in the being available, and in the allowing of what has to happen to happen. And there are a lot of gifts as well. The rest of my first intensive weekend, I did experience bliss and this aliveness inside me, bubbling, and a feeling of floating through whatever happened, the meals, the breaks, the chanting, the listening, and the meditation. It was very orderly, and this free-flowing sense of love was powerful. On the drive back, I still held that peaceful, intense state. So that was my initiation weekend. I'll tell you some more stories in the future, and I hope you'll stay tuned to learn more about when and where I will be giving the Working In Foundation program designed for self-empowerment, care of the mind, and rebalancing of the body for those who have repetitive stress or training imbalances. See you next time. Kamala Nellen.